Skin Hardaway Southern T. Back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy when you roll on in. Whether you're here for a good time or a long time, whether it's your first time, if you could not make it your last time, hit that subscription button there as well. My bad about the late delay. I ain't gonna take up too much of y'all time today, but I do want to have, a little conversation with y'all. Drop this tad bit of, information on y'all. I don't know if y'all was tuned in, right? But a couple weeks ago, what's good? Shawa Allah, Tay Ray Buck. A few weeks ago, right, Diego Pacheco, he had a fight. Diego Pacheco, he faced off. So I was about to lie and say Gary Cully, but it wasn't Gary Cully. But it was one of those UK guys, right? Kind of made up like Gary Cully. Not quite the level of Gary Cully, right? But he fought a pretty good UK fighter, right, over there in London. And Diego Pacheco, he ended up stopping the guy. Again, not sure if you too familiar, right? But Edward Berlanga recently had decided to split ways with Top Rank. Him and Bob Arum, came to a mutual agreement to part ways. And in wake to that, Edward Berlanga signed over there with Golden Boy Promotion, right? So you got Diego Pacheco, who fights at 168. You got Edward Berlanga, who fights at 168. And both guys are now over at Golden Boy Promotion, right? This just the basis. So just like I know that, right? Diego Pacheco knows that. Now, Edward Berlanga, he went over to Golden Boy Promotions, and one of the first few things that Edward Berlanga my bad. Y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? But one of the things was good, D man. Appreciate you sliding through. One of the things, let me know if y'all can hear me. One of the things that Edward Berlanga, right, was pressing upon his signing to Golden Boy Promotion, right, was a Canelo fight, right? He kept talking about Canelo Alvarez and him having a dream to fight Canelo, and that's the fight that he wanted, you know, uh, from Golden Boy, right? Okay, big cool, and that's the fight that he wanted from Golden Boy, right? Well, Diego Pacheco, now Edward Berlanga ain't had a fight with Golden Boy yet, right? Just throwing that out there. Diego Pacheco, he just had a fight a few weeks ago. Could have been like 2 to 3 weeks ago at this point, but he got the stoppage knockout, right? And his best opponent to date. His name is passing me right now, but a pretty good prospect as well. Pretty good, a contender on the UK scale, right? But a prospect on the grand scheme of things. Diego Pacheco stopped over there. Diego Pacheco has something interesting to say about the newly signed, the newly acquired Edward Berlanga, and him being over there with Golden Boy along with Diego Pacheco. Diego Pacheco said when asked recently, right, in one of his interviews, Diego Pacheco, he stated that with the signing of Edward Berlanga, that's a fight that he will be interested in. With Edward Berlanga coming over to Golden Boy Promotion, right? That's a fight that Diego Pacheco will be interested in. Not only did he say that he will be interested in the fight, Diego Pacheco said that now that Edward Berlanga, is signed over there with Golden Boy Promotion, that's a fight that should happen, right? He said he don't see a reason why that fight shouldn't happen now that they're over on the same promotional company. And I most definitely agree with Edward Berlanga. I think it's right. I think it's cool. I think it's good for the sport. What's good? No smoke. Appreciate you sliding through. What's good? Just Jazz, appreciate you sliding through. I think it's good. You know what I mean, for the sport when you know, these young up and coming prospects, right? When they want to challenge themselves, they want to get in the ring either with real contenders, right, or champions, or especially when they want to get in there with other young prospects, because young prospects these days, all too often, they don't seem to want to challenge themselves, especially not against other up and coming prospects, right? So Diego Pacheco, you know, putting his O on the line, putting his reputation on the line, putting his neck out there, and calling out Edward Berlanga. I like the attitude, you know what I mean, by Diego Pacheco. Now, with Edward Berlanga is more so talking about, you know, this, Canelo that, right? And I really don't think that this too far off base, right? But let's think about it like this. Edward Berlanga himself, right? 25 years old. I think Diego Pacheco is about 25. They both around 25, 26 years old. You know what I mean? They both about 25, 26 years old, both up and coming prospects. Now, Edward Berlanga has been, you know what I mean, sold. He's been displayed on a higher level, right? He's been sold as the bigger star. He may be what they call the A side in the fight between those two, right? But when it comes to actually fight and, you know, competition level and resume, even if you slightly edge Edward Berlanga, right, it's neither of those guys still have that, you know, I don't necessarily want to say big win, right? Because it don't even have to be a big win just yet at this stage, but neither of them really have that standout win, you know, right? That win that proves to the boxing world that, you know, they're next up, right? Edward Berlanga was seen as there for a long time. And now you got Diego Pacheco, who's looking good, you know, who's kind of feeling like the odd man out. You know what I mean? Diego Pacheco is basically saying, you know, I'm here, put some respect on my name. You know what I mean? But he's calling out Edward Berlanga, and I think the fight makes sense. What's good? I see some of my people in here. What's good? D man, my guy, No Smoke. I see a lot of us feel like, you know, Pacheco will get Edward Berlanga right, but I think it's a close enough fight. It's an interesting enough fight, right? It's a big enough name fight on both sides, prospect versus prospect. And like he said, they both on Golden Boy, right? I think it makes sense. Think about this. Both fighters, what's good, Ghost? Say too bad for him. Eddie Hearn got other plans. What's good, Ghost? Shout out to my guy, Dan Berry Sports. Appreciate you sliding through. My guy, Ghost, said too bad for him. Eddie Hearn got other plans, right? Diego Pacheco and El Berlanga both, right? Even if El Berlanga is like the bigger name, right? The bigger name, he will be A side in this situation, right? Even if he is the bigger name, neither of them have, you know, that win that, you know, sets them aside. Neither of them has that win, you know, that puts them on the next level. Both have been basically working out potential. You know what I mean? Neither of them guys really have that big name, right? Not necessarily big name, but big fight that career not defining, but, you know, that fight that sets them up to be one of the next in line, right? So I think, right, with both guys being undefeated, with the hype around Edward Berlanga, of course, Diego Pacheco beating Edward Berlanga will make a big statement, right? But I think, you know, if Edward Berlanga is calling for, you know, Canelo Alvarez, if he's calling for the champ, he's calling for Canelo Alvarez. I like that, right? But with the level that you at right now, Edward Berlanga isn't, you know, ready for Canelo Alvarez or just yet, right? He hasn't earned that Canelo Alvarez status or fight just yet, right? But a win over Diego Pacheco, you know, most definitely will put a feather in the cap, I think, of Edward Berlanga. You know, if he was to take that fight and win, I think Diego Pacheco will be considered the best win that Edward Berlanga, you know, has to date. A young up-and-coming prospect just like himself. Was good, Ghost. Ghost said Diego Pacheco clout chasing. He said Edward got a fight lined up. Metron got a plan for him. Diego won't smoke. I know a guy, William Skull, out of Cuba. Shout out my guy Ghost. My guy Ghost are always coming, you know, with the Cuban brothers. My guy Ghost be going hard for his Cuban brothers. Shout out my guy Ghost. But we about to get into these quotes, right? We about to get into the actual quotes that Diego Pacheco had to say. given the I've been saying Golden Boy. I meant well, same thing, Golden Boy, Max Run, right? Different, but the same, right? I mean, Max Run, right? But I digress. I think Pacheco does fight on Golden Boy, and I think El Berlanga just signed to Eddie Hearn and Max Run. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is. So I had a little clarification. Yo, I got 13 likes. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all hit that thumbs up. I think it's 11 people in the building. I know more than 11 of y'all been through here. Y'all do your boy solid. Y'all let YouTube know that we live. Let YouTube know that we talking this good boxing. Let YouTube know where you at right now. But we about to get into the exact quotes from Diego Pacheco concerning Edward Berlanga, right? This is from the boxing scene, right? Sean now. Diego Pacheco believes his promoter has an appealing in-house matchup on his hands. Pacheco, the highly regarded 22-year-old super middleweight prospect from Los Angeles, boosted his appeal last month with a dominant stoppage over veteran Jack Cullen. After the fight, Pacheco was asked about a potential fight with fellow 168-pounder El Berlanga, who, like Pacheco, is signed to Matchroom Boxing, the British promotional company headed by Eddie Hearn. Pacheco offered an enthusiastic endorsement of the potential matchup. This is Pacheco, word for word, quote unquote. Yeah, I think in a few fights, Berlanga fight will happen. Pacheco chose seconds out. He's a great fighter. I'm a great fighter. As long as everyone wants to see that fight and everyone asks for that fight, I don't see why that fight shouldn't happen. He's Matchroom now, so there is no reason why that fight shouldn't happen. We're both some of the best young fighters in the game. Let's give the fans an amazing fight. Berlanga, 25, parted ways with his longtime promoter, Top Rank, earlier this year, and subsequently signed with Hearn after fielding various offers, including ones from Oscar De La Hoya of Golden Boy and Al Heyman of the PBC. One reason why Berlanga signed with Hearns appears to be because of a potential fight with Canelo Alvarez, the current undisputed champion at 168. But in order to earn that opportunity, Hearn has said Berlanga would need to rack up a few wins over top opposition. The New Yorker of Puerto Rican descent has failed to look impressive in his last few fights, stopping his first 16 opponents inside of the first round. Pacheco signed with Matchroom straight out of the amateurs. He was only 17. With the win over Cullen, the youngster believes the Appalachian prospect no longer applies to him. Interesting. So Pacheco is saying that he doesn't feel like he's no longer a prospect. He said, I needed a performance like this to convince people that I wasn't a prospect anymore, that I can compete with the best. Hopefully, everyone else will see this as well. I just turned 22. I feel like a lot of people call me a prospect because I'm so young, But with this performance, like Eddie said, I feel like I'm a contender now. I can compete with anybody, and I'm ready and excited for the future. My guy No Smoke said, now they both need to prove themselves. Pacheco was just right for Berlanga right now. That's what I agree with that. I dang sure don't think Canelo is ready for him right now. But right here in this thing, it said Eddie Hearn said that the Canelo fight is at least a few fights away, right? So maybe, the Berlanga and Pacheco fight, will happen. Maybe that'll be one of the fights that he got to line himself up with. Maybe that'll be one of the fights that he got to line himself up with, maybe to get to the Canelo fight. But I do think, Berlanga versus Pacheco it's an even fight as far as their resumes go for sure, right? As far as their age groups, both of them being prospects. And he's saying that he's not a prospect, right? But all in all, he really is, right? Because he hadn't got that big fight, that big win, that big name, to consider him, a contender just yet. Now, if he beats Edward Berlanga, then I will consider him a contender, right? If a high level prospect beats another high level prospect, then the winner would be considered a contender, at least in my book, right? He said Pacheco, he said Berlanga got a Damon Nicholson. Yeah, he do. Berlanga actually got a couple of veterans, Steve Rose and everything like that. But I think Edward Berlanga is good, right, or just as good as anybody that Edward Berlanga has fought, you know what I mean, to this point. Yo, I got 13 people in the building. I got 13 likes. I know more than 13 of y'all been through here. Y'all do your boy solid. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. Let YouTube know that we lie. Let YouTube know that we talking this good boxing, right? But I like this matchup, this prospect versus prospect, right? They're about. I feel like my guy Go said he feel like Pacheco need a couple more fights, right? I kind of feel like they about the same level, yo. You know what I mean? I feel like it'd be a good. I feel like the winner of this fight, right, Ghost? He said Berlanga got Damien Rose, yep, Marcelo Ramos. Yeah, he got a few. He got a few, you know what I mean, veteran names on that, right? He said Pacheco a step back for Berlanga. We want Berlanga versus Morel or anyone in the top 10. Fight him Beely. Morel or someone else. Pavel out Russian here too. I get what you're saying, Ghost. And I agree with you, right? Let me put that on the screen. I agree with you too, Ghost, as far as Berlanga being maybe above Pacheco being maybe a step back. If you're talking about namesake, right? Berlanga having more to lose if he fight a guy like Pacheco than Pacheco, right? If Pacheco lose to Berlanga, Pacheco young, he could bounce back, right? But if Berlanga loses to Pacheco, then Pacheco will ultimately take Berlanga's spot in the boxing world. In a sense, it could boost Pacheco a lot more than it could boost Edward Berlanga. But I think a win over Pacheco would silence a whole lot of doubters for Edward Berlanga, right? I think the fight with Pacheco and Edward Berlanga will be more so of a people's fight, right? Necessarily than a rankings fight or a fight to get him, in a better position to challenge for somebody above him. A fight with Pacheco will be to prove, to the fans that, I am what y'all say I am. But yeah, he do got a couple wins, over veterans, right? But I don't think any of those veterans, right, at this point are better than Pacheco. You know what I mean? I think Pacheco probably would beat, most of those guys as well, right? A lot of, if not all. You know what I mean? Not gonna say he'll stop him because we all know how hard it is to stop Deadman, right? But I think he'll put, I think he'll do his. I think he does well. You know what I mean, against the opponent that Edward Berlanga has. But I believe as far as where they actually at, right? Like a talent. As far as the stardom level, yeah, it's a step back. But where they actually at, like age, talent wise, you know what I mean? I think that fight is about even. And I like the attitude. If Edward Berlanga is trying to earn him a fight against Canelo, right? If he is trying to earn him a fight against Canelo at 168, it ain't a whole lot of guys, right? Especially not on Matchroom that he could, pretty much did what you will say John Ryder, but look like John Ryder is next in line for a Canelo fight, right? But maybe he fight with Daniel Jacobs. Would I rather see him fight Daniel Jacobs than Diego Pacheco? No. Is Daniel Jacobs a bigger name? Yes. You know what I mean? But as far as, right, both of them being prospect, as far as who is next up, as far as who I think, you know what I mean, proving themselves, I think the winner of that fight should be, the next fighter boosted in the stardom, the next fighter maybe, given a chance at Canelo down the line. Because I feel like I know exactly what's going on with Pacheco right now. Pacheco looking at it like, hold on, you signed in Edward Berlanga and you got him coming in here talking about Canelo. I'm over here on this stable on this side too, while I'm not, getting my names in those Canelo talks, in those Canelo conversations. And I think I'm better than Edward Berlanga. So I like what Pacheco is doing. If you want to take, if you want a title shot, right, if you feel like somebody is above you, that's what you're supposed to do, just like the old school fighters did, right? You call them out and you walk your way up the line. You knock out who's in front of you, and you put the champions in the corner until they have to fight you, right? Edward Berlanga is a guy that's along the way of Diego Pacheco right now, right? Promotionally, he may be in front of Diego Pacheco, right? I think Pacheco sees that, and I got no problem with Pacheco, you know what I mean, putting that fire, putting it out in the world, maybe trying to put that pressure on his promotional company to add him in the mix. Because I do think Pacheco is going to be a problem. I do think Pacheco will one day be a champ at 168, right? Maybe if you like my guy Ghost came in and said You know, Matchroom got plans for Eddie. Maybe if you Matchroom with Eddie being about 25, right? Pacheco being, still young, 22. Maybe you do give El Berlanga a shot first. But I also get where Pacheco coming from. Like, man, I'm a prospect here, prospect. I got, which is what he just said in the last article, right? I got to win over Jack Cullen, right? So he feeling like that that he's equal to or better than El Berlanga. And I'm not knocking him for it because I do think he's one heck of a fighter. And if El Berlanga, my guy Ghost got a comment up here. He mentioned Mbili or Maria, right? If Berlanga goes on and he fights Mbili or he fights Maria, then it's totally understandable, right? Him not fighting Diego Pacheco. As far as like, and it's just being real, right? As far as like the food chain goes, El Berlanga is higher up right now than Pacheco on the food chain. So I guys like Mbili and Maria. Him taking a fight with Mbili or Maria would not be considered a duck. It will be considered a step up for Berlanga, right? But you got to believe guys like me, right, and there's people out here, who's paying attention to this situation. If ever Berlanga takes a sidestep, and let's say he's not as good as David Pacheco, I can understand people saying, well, we trying to manage El Berlanga's career, so why would we fight Pacheco, right? In that sense, you basically saying that Pacheco is better than El Berlanga, right? But if you people like me, right, if you take a sidestep, I am gonna feel the way about it because you most definitely could have fight for Pacheco, right? If you was gonna take a sidestep and fight, some random, bum for lack of a better word. Like that Go said, ranking wise, Berlanga top 15 ranked fighter, true. While Pacheco just got here, he not even top 25 yet. Yep, as far as the rankings go, and I get it. Like as as far as the pecking order, El Berlanga is up higher on the list. But I know what Diego Pacheco is saying. I know what Diego Pacheco is saying. He's saying like, okay, well, they got this guy ranked in front of me, and I feel like I got a beeline. I got a beeline to the ship if I'm able to take him out, right? So I like the confidence. I like the willingness from Diego Pacheco to call out El Berlanga because that is a fight very well that Diego Pacheco could lose. It's also a fight that El Berlanga could lose, right? But I ain't gonna keep y'all in this thing too long. Just wanted to come right with y'all for a second, man. I may come live a little later, so y'all make sure y'all be on the lookout, right? Just wanted to come holler at y'all about this Pacheco El Berlanga, situation. But I'm finna get up out of here, man. I greatly appreciate y'all. If this your first time, don't make it your last time. Y'all hit that thumbs up. Let YouTube know that we live. Let YouTube know that we talking this real boxing. Skin the Hardaway Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But it's the present. This how we rocking. And I'm out. Love. Fight breakdowns and predictions coming soon as well.